All right, I hit the button. Hi. So, should I turn off his backlight? Hold on 1 second. Hi. What? Okay, okay. I just want the chat up on that window. I'm trying to get the chat up on the second window. So I'm Christopher, I'm an illustrator, and today I'm illustrating cartoons that I am not looking up. So I just have to do it from memory. And the twist is I have no visual memory. So it's a real it's a real conundrum. Oh, hey, Elstefan. It's a good name. Ellie, else, you know. I don't have to tell you. I'm trying to. Okay, here I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. So I'm gonna spin the wheel. It's totally random. Okay, turn that volume off. All right, I got my chat up. All right. So I spin the wheel, then I do a sketch, and then I draw it, and I try to get it to look as much like the cartoon that you all know and love as possible. Like I said, trick is I have no visual imagination, no visual memory. Every time I illustrate from references, or I do something where you like create the shapes in the page. So if there's a, what the hell? So if anyone has any suggestions for cartoons, I will also do that. I'll put it on the list, but let's do it. Let's give it a spin. I always get really nervous about the spin because, like, what if it's something I really am going to be bad about? Wait, I think this is just supposed to be Aang. I don't know where. Wait, is this Aang or is this a poo? It is. It is Aang from Last Airbender. I have watched this show when I was young. So this is going to be one of the harder ones, but let's give it a try. So, okay, so luckily he is famously bald and has an arrow on his head. So let's get some. This is going to be the sketch first before I get into it. Unluckily, it's a very detailed kind of realistic cartoon and less like the type, hey Sarah, flashbang. Oh, sorry, I see what you're saying. Hmm, yeah, I guess I should switch the spinner to not dark mode. I will do that on the next one. I didn't think about that, but of course that's a pretty big jump in brightness. Okay. So I know he has an arrow on his head. Gosh, it would be really funny if he doesn't have an arrow on his head and I'm thinking about somebody totally different. Uh, I'm going to give him I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Nope, nope, there we go. I'm going to give him kind of a friendly eyes, almond shaped friendly eyes. Try to get it lined up. Make sure it's not too uneven. Okay. Uh, I don't know. Standard nose. Nothing too crazy. Standard boy nose. Okay, where's my eraser? And okay, it's looking pretty good. It's not looking bad. Luckily, he's bald. That's really helpful. I am drawing Aang from The Last Airbender from memory, and I have no visual imagination, so I really have to. It's like only things I can remember, I remember. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I have aphantasia, so you can look that up, but it basically means I have no mind's eye. I cannot envision something in my head. And so I that's it might be part of why I like to draw, because if I wanted to think about something visually, I just have to take out a pen and pencil, basically. A pen and paper, a pen and a pencil, and then I like bang them together and try really hard. Okay, so this is not coming out bad. I'm going to sharpen my pencil. You guys can't see it, but the pencil, for whatever reason, the pencil gets less and less sharp, and there's no easy way to. Actually, I think I did make an easy way to sharpen it, but I cannot remember. So there's just a button I have to go press. Okay. So I also think he's like a monk. So does he wears like robes maybe? And I know he's like I was saying before, um, sort of standard human shape. So I'm not super good at drawing humans, but they are something I draw pretty frequently, so it's always good to get some practice. Yeah, I watched it. Uh, Oddfoot says she didn't watch this show much. I watched it. I remember watching it at my grandma's house. I didn't have TV when I was young. And so I do remember watching this at my grandma's house. I had heard a lot about it, so I was like excited to watch it, but I didn't watch all of it. Yeah, Nickelodeon for sure. Because I didn't have Nickelodeon at home. We had just antenna TV, so no cable. So we didn't have Nickelodeon and we didn't have like any of those channels. All I had was like ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, the broadcasts. Yeah, it's supposed to be one of the best shows ever. So when I was watching it, I remember being like right away being like, "Oh man, this is the show everyone's talking about." But I don't think I watched every episode. Um, yeah, I did watch a lot because then I lived with my little brother for a while and he rewatched it a bunch. So I watched that. So he's the last airbender. The airbender is a tribe that is mostly wiped out. Avatars control all four of the elements. Uh, they are born once in a generation, is my guess. I don't remember that bit. And it rotates which tribe they're coming out from. Uh, so like I can't remember. I think the last tribe before this was the fire tribe, but the fire tribe are mean, militaristic, baddies, you know, and they wiped out the air tribe, I think. I'm not going to get the details right because this is literally me picking stuff up from other people just talking about it. And I bet you he's barefoot. I'm going to do a little toesies. And so it's a surprise where Aang comes out and he's an airbender. They thought they were all gone and that maybe someone else would be the next avatar, which is very powerful and I think rules the group in some way, maybe spiritually, maybe like they're the sovereign. Um, but he wasn't. It did go to the airbenders. And so then you have Aang, he's the last airbender, and he's traveling to go find other airbenders, maybe, or just to go to the court of the avatar who's there now and be like, yo, bro, your time's limited. Why are you so mean? Why'd you condone all this war? Something like that. And so the story is, I think, like a journey, and like they go to prison and they learn stuff about their powers, and um, they teach each other new stuff. One guy is like misogynistic, and then he grows up and learns how terrible that is, and he gets better. I read an essay about him. That's the only reason I know about that. But yeah, it's a pretty deep show for a kids show, right? So that's why uh, everybody liked it. Oh, am I really washed out when I turned off that light? Let me see if I can readjust a little bit just by turning my light down. I think that I think I look better now. Okay. Okay. My I made some last minute adjustments to the lighting in the room, which I shouldn't have done, and so I looked really washed out. Okay, I don't know if he has like an emblem on his shirt or whatever, but I'll draw something emblemy, like compassy. That feels like, yeah, but great idea. Oh, the four, yeah, because there's four tribes. There's four rose cardinal directions. So we'll do something like that. And then I think this is good. I want to do a little bit of work on the eyes, but because this is not friendly, it's scary. But then we'll go for it. We'll do the inking. There we go. That's better. I had like friendly, but um, not wise. And so I wanted to make sure I got the wise in there. Okay. Oh, yeah. He's like me. He's a friendly, goaded avatar. I could play that, but it's on a different computer. My video editing computer, not my video streaming computer. The video editing computer is not mine. That's why I have two different ones, because I only have one. My computer doesn't edit videos good. I think here too, his mouth is too childish. He's lost he's lost everybody, right? He's like the survivor of a genocide. So we don't want to give him like vacant friendly eyes, and we don't want to give him like um, happy childish mouth. We want to make sure he has wise eyes and um, kind but serious mouth. Okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna do the inking and then we'll get a little color on here. Because I already definitely don't know it very well, I'm not gonna go crazy probably on the detail, but let's go. Does he have any hair at all? No, let's not let's not get into that. Let's not get into that debate. Okay, so now I'm going to ink it like I would if it was a physical piece by overlaying a new layer and just going in with a black pen. Whoop, just going in with a black pen and getting some solid lines down. I'm going to be a little bit loose because I do like this like motion and like life I've sort of captured with the sketch. And there doesn't need to be, because it's a more realistic cartoon, instead of like, Dexter's Lab or Powerpuff Girls or Gumball's Big Adventure or whatever, it doesn't have to have um, like nice, clean, bold lines, which is a hallmark of what's up. I have somebody bursting hysterical laughing in the corner over here.
When you, when I was like, should we watch regular show? And you're like, is that the one Gumball?
I pretend I don't know what cartoons are to be a funny guy. And it works, but it works like 6 weeks later. The trick is you can't ever admit it was a joke. You have to let people think you're a dummy. The benefit is uh, I am in the United States. I do not speak Brazilian. I am not Brazilian, but hello. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Avatar. I'm glad you recognize it. I'm doing this from memory. I have only seen the show like a handful of times. Uh, and I very often get cartoons wrong that I draw from memory. What happens is I spin a wheel and it tells me which cartoon to draw, and then I try my best. Hello from Britain. I mean, hello from across the pond. I'm switching my eraser to the good eraser. All right. I don't. Hugando, I think might mean sport or playing. I don't know. Neymar looks like maybe a proper noun. Sorry, my Brazilian Portuguese is very, very rusty, and I didn't know that much to begin with. We're getting some clothes in here. All right, they're coming along. So I have something called aphantasia, or I am someone who has aphantasia is more, it's not like catching. It's not catchy. And what it means is I have no visual imagination, or I can't envision anything. I have an imagination, it just doesn't create images in my mind. You know, like some people have an inner monologue and some people don't. Well, some people can really visualize anything and some people can't visualize anything. There's a spectrum. And I am on the low end, the no end. So that's why it's so fun to try to draw these cartoons from memory, because I have no idea. I have no idea what they look like. And I just have to like go on little bits and pieces I've stored away about the character, or sometimes just sometimes I can kind of deduce based on how other characters of the time would have been. That that's probably when I'm most successful. And sometimes like I don't remember it, but when I start drawing it, I'm like, oh, this is right, or oh, this is wrong. I don't know if he has an emblem on his chest, but why not? All right, I think we'll do a little bit of color now. One thing I'm pretty sure of is the arrow is blue. Oh, wrong layer. So let's do that. You know what? I'll do like real color a little bit. Because it is like more realistic style, I will do more realistic style of coloring also. I built this brush specifically for coloring. I like it a lot. I used to get really um, particular and try to get everything really smooth with it, which I think now I understand sort of like defeats the purpose. But it's what I had originally created the brush for. Now I like it for how much texture and um, color variation it can really create in a small space, in a small area. I don't remember. I don't think he's white. That that doesn't seem right. So I let's go with, actually, I know he's not white because I think they whitewashed him in a live action movie. Is this real life? I think it's true. All right. We'll get some variation in there. And I just missed the tippy tippy top. But that's okay because it's far away, so I was going to have to do some shading in there anyway. Kind of like these ears will do some. All right. I'll add some variation, some skin tone. The eyes are darker and deeper in, that kind of thing. The nose is further out, so I'll shade around it. The cheeks are going to be further away. The chin will be a high spot. Beneath the mouth will be a low spot. Right now I'm just kind of height mapping the face, and I'll probably go in and, well, I made the right ear really, really small and the left ear normal size. Um, Whoops, not changing it. Live by the sword, die by the sword. All right, I think even the light spots are a little too. Okay, bring the blue back out. Whoops. Gosh. Oh, okay. Sometimes I do something in a single stroke, and like that's great when you do it on the physical paper because like you get a lot of smoothness, a lot of continuity, literal continuity. But when you do it on the computer, that means if you make a mistake, when you hit Control Z, it's going to undo all of the work you've done, and that can suck. Whoops. I don't know what color Aang's eyes are, but my guess they're going to be dark brown, right? I think it's possible they're like, sometimes in media, especially back in the day, they'd be like, this one person's special and they have blue eyes. But I don't like that. Okay. I think I'll probably do some richer skin tones. There's like, there's some depth missing there. It's very flat because it's all one color, even though it's different shades of one color. I'll probably come in, let's just do it now. I'll come in with a little bit of this red, and I'll make it really light. I can control the how dark something is just by the pressure of the pencil I have. So I'm gonna try to come in real, real light in the shaded areas. On the cheeks, a little blush. Give them a little life, a little, just on the tip of the nose. People are not a single flat color. I know cartoons are, but we were discussing this cartoon being a little bit more realistic, so let's go for it. I'll do a little bit darker down here. Okay. Yeah, all right. Now, the robe. I think like a really, oh, my favorite cartoon. Hmm. Huh. Okay. So there's a lot of answers to this question, right? So there's a bunch of different definitions of cartoon also. So like I could answer my favorite movie that is a cartoon and animated feature. I could answer my favorite, like if we're talking about the classic definition of cartoons or the more inclusive definition of cartoons, and that might be like a comic strip or a comic book. Those are often called cartoons. Cartoon show, yeah. My favorite animated show. That's the classic question. That's what I was gonna get to eventually. So I think it has to be, um, well, so I like tons and tons of modern cartoons. I watch cartoon shows constantly. Um, I really love Batman, the animated series from the early 90s, I think 1994. I really love all those then preced all the shows that preceded it and came along, not necessarily in the same universe, but like there's the New Adventures of Batman, there's the Adventures of Superman, there's uh, the Green Lanterns, I think, even had one. So I like all those shows also. But if I had to choose like one of my very favorite shows, this might actually stretch the definition a bit. I just realized it would probably be the old Fleischer Superman cartoons from the 1940s. Uh, they helped define the character. Uh, and they're just really amazing. They hold up even today. They were some of the most expensive cartoons ever made for a very long time. And then if you adjust for inflation for even longer, um, they basically didn't want to make them. So they charged like they were like, no, we're not going to make these cartoons. But we can't really say no. It's like, I forget who it is, RCO maybe. And they're like, so we'll have to just tell them it'll cost like $1 million an episode. And they did. And they were like, oh, that's great. What a bargain. But it does stretch the definition because these cartoons would have aired originally in a movie theater because that's just how cartoons aired back in the day. So although it would be considered a show now, hmm, yeah, I like superhero shows, so I'd probably say that or like Miraculous Ladybug. That's really good. It's going on for a really long time. Or I'd say Batman the Animated Series. That's like straight down the line classic. I think I'm done. I think let's add a little, nope, not dark enough. Let's add a little blue to this emblem here. I want like a blue. Here we go. I don't know. I'm just making something up. All right, let's look up what he looks like. Here's the revealed. How good did I do? I have no visual imagination. I'm drawing cartoons from my terrible memory. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to see while I'm here if I can turn off dark mode. I don't see it. Oh, I got to appearance. Okay, there we go. That should help with the transition from one screen to the next. We're doing Aang from Last Airbender. I just thought I would grab the live action one and drop it in as a joke, but I don't want to get canceled. So I think this is the Nickelodeon one. I'll just drop it in. Okay, his clothes are orange, but they're kind of yellowy. The arrow's good. The shape of the face is surprisingly good. I made his head a little bit more round. I made him barefoot, but I got the thing. I don't, is there anything on the front of his costume? I don't think so. Maybe I was thinking about these hands. Yeah, so I definitely am missing the cape. Um, I think my coloring is slightly dark, but not really. There's lots of um, pictures here with different skin tones, different lighting situations. So, all right, I'm gonna say not bad, not half bad. Let's do another one. Oh, yeah, pretty good. Thank you. Great success. All right, let's give the wheel a spin. Goodbye, Ang. Hello, spin. All right, this is where it gets nervous. Let's give it a go. Whoa, Link. This is great. It was between Link and Muppet Baby Gonzo. I think I would have done pretty good on either of these. Um, hey, Lennox. So I'm an illustrator with no mind's eye, and I am trying to draw cartoons from memory without using a reference. Right now, I am sketching Link from memory, and then afterwards, I will like ink him and color him, bring him like close to the. Yeah, so I'm not going to specify because there's so many versions of Link, and I think I'm more likely to win if I just don't I don't say which version. But honestly, it's going to be probably from the cartoon like the instruction booklet from some of the older games mixed with like, oh, that's great. What's your what's your preferred medium, or what do you draw on? I usually don't draw digitally, but it's fun. Yeah, that's what Link is like, right? He's a little fairy boy. Is he a fairy? Part of the Fae? Oh, hey, Sapley. We're doing Link. So I don't think Link is like a classically silent character, right? I think there's like one game, it might be the one for the Wii, the is it the Twilight Princess, where he speaks more than any other, and he just like it's just like yells and um, shouts, if I recall. I'm trying to make sure his eyes look excited. Why is his nose so bad? There we go. Just do a little. Oh, messed it up. There we go. I think Link might have pointy ears. Yeah, the elf from Zelda. That's exactly right. I said fairy, elf. Like I said, he definitely has pointy ears. Well, this one does. I don't know. The one I just drew has pointy ears. Oh me. I want him to have like a pretty good chin because I know he's like the classic Twinkie hero. So he has pretty defined features, blonde eyelashes. Yeah. So I I've played most of the Zelda games. I'm a fan of RPGs, but I often just don't finish things. So I haven't finished very many Zelda games. I loved Zelda 2 when I was a kid. We had an old Nintendo and we had Zelda 2 and it was gold. We had Zelda 1 too, but it was so hard. It was terrible. So I did not love that game. Although a few years ago I went back and I tried to beat a bunch of old Nintendo games and I tried Zelda 1 and I did good, but I looked up the instruction booklet and like what it would have come with when it was new, which I did not have when I was a kid. And so it had an instruction booklet and like a map and some hints. And once I tried with that, it was pretty good. It was an enjoyable romp. Only took a couple days. It was very straightforward, which was not my experience as a youngster. Okay, so I don't want him to just be standing there. His eyes are uneven, but I can fix that later. Um, That's fine. We'll fix it later. Oh, nice. What's your favorite game from 1980 to 2000? Yeah, some old arcade games are very good. I don't know what he's going to be doing, but apparently this. Yeah, the first Zelda game, once I like used the instruction booklet, I really did enjoy it. Yeah, let's gonna move this whole guy up. I keep drawing really close to the bottom of the what's it called? Page. Does so I guess he wears all sorts of stuff in different iterations. I'm like all over the place. Uh, let's draw his hips in. So he will be looking that way. His body will be kind of pointed towards us. So his hips will be like this. And then his leg will do, his back leg can be forward. And I'm not great with poses, but I figured I'll give it a try. And then he can have a sword. And maybe like, I don't know. Sometimes he has a lantern. Is that doofy? And then he very often has like a tunic, right? So that's, yeah, Tetris, man. I I was so good at Tetris. I had never met anybody who was better at Tetris than me. And then I was over. my wife's house when we were in high school, and she's like, "Do you want to play Tetris?" And I was like, "Oh man, I get to impress her by being so good at Tetris," which is like such a kid thing to think. But seriously, it it it's not wrong. It's just a kid thing to think. And she is one of the best Tetris players. Um, seriously, like absolutely astounding. One of the top two Tetris players I have ever met. Uh, but the way she thinks about Tetris is totally different. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to be like, check out this garden I built in Minecraft. Okay, we'll do like little boots, little booties. I should have done a pixel art. You just stop doing this style at all and just like zoom all the way in and get some pixel art stuff out. Oh, oh man, I missed a trick. No, I think pixel art is it's way more time consuming. I wouldn't necessarily call it harder, but it definitely takes a lot more time. You know what? We're gonna give his tunic a belt. I was like, this outfit is not looking right. And just like any real outfit, we'll give him a belt. Hmm. Speaking of pixel art, we need to fix the table shaking. It's like something going on. It's shaking more and more.
Not me.
No, it's not. I don't think it's you. I think it's the.
Well, I just felt my tuning, so I think it might have been me.
What else does Zelda use? Like boomerang? Not Zelda. There's Ocarina. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I don't like the whole his whole arm situation I got going on here is bad. I'm I'm not too proud to say it. I like the legs. I think that came out pretty good. I like the tunic. Am I not drawing? I think that came out pretty good. Let me sharpen my pencil while I'm in here. Okay, I'm having that problem where it's not drawing for no reason. So weird. It is a very weird bug. Okay, it's back. But yeah, let's have him like, hmm, let me draw his shoulders a little bit better. I think I twisted his body without really realizing it. I thought his body was going to be mainly pointing at us, but it's not really because of the way I drew his hips. So we're going to twist it back the way it should have been. I'm going to move his neckline. I'm going to combine these layers because I accidentally have to. I'm going to move his neckline so it's more in line with where it would be on his body. There's shoulders going there. So this shoulder, we can't see where his arm is going to come out of. It'll be blocked by his pec muscle there. But this one will block whatever's in front of it. So, okay, we can do this. And as a trick to not have to draw a hand, we'll give him a little shield. And then we can also avoid, I don't know, drawing the belt too. That's fun. Okay. Little Zelda shield. I think the shield is like what is this called? Like heraldry? All right. Heraldry is really weird, man. They have specific colors for, I mean, specific names for the colors. So, like, I forget, it's not gold, or like yellow is always called gold, but it's not gold. It's like ores or something. It's like a Middle English word for gold. They're weird. Heraldry, it's not weird. It's old and it sticks to some traditions that feel weird in the modern age because they're using language that's hundreds of years old. Okay, that's not bad. I don't hate this like I hated the other one. Move his arm, bring the shield into play, more. Okay, have it like, yep. All right. That's not terrible. How would a hand be holding that? Okay, so his little fingers would come up like this, and his thumb would be here and there. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, I'm starting to not hate this sketch. If I just switch brushes, that is a much faster way to sharpen a pencil. Yeah, that's so true. Just switch pencils. Why are you why are you sharpening pencils? What are you poor? Sorry, that's a joke. Obviously, I don't even use disposable pencils because they're they're too much. I use mechanical pencils because over time they're much cheaper. And you don't have to sharpen them, you just press a button. Okay, I might just, this is it. You can imagine the color. Why are you so happy, Link? What's going on? You lost your princess. He's like, Triforce. You think there's a heavy metal band in the Link universe? It's called Triforce. Is there a heavy metal band in our universe called Triforce? Seems right. Seems right. All right. We did Link. I am going to try something new this time because I don't really think ink is the right choice for this today. So let's try doing color. Oops, let's try doing watercolor. Right, right on it. I have a watercolor brush I built. Is it is it this one? Eh, This one's fine. This is it, but it's I have them with two different sets, two different settings. This is here it is. Small watercolor brush. Excellent. All right, we're gonna start with the tunic. And we're just gonna come in. We'll go slow and we'll build it up. We'll allow ourselves to erase because we'll just pretend it was taped off and that we're really good at taping things off. Okay, so yeah, let's get our base down for the tunic. I should have zoomed out a little bit, but what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna redo. I'm not gonna redo all that seconds of work. I have had to learn, especially with digital art, to not be too perfection-y. Because like with digital art, man, you can go back and redo so many times. And like it's so tempting to be perfection-y about it. Okay, we'll do everything in the back a little bit darker. Oh man, this back arm is so small. Okay, it's okay because we're doing watercolor. It's not that small, it's just once I got the color in, I could see it looked a little weird. Okay, kind of get an edge on that. What does it look like? Oh my gosh, I did it right on top of the pencil. All right, this is the universe we live in now, where I'm doing it right on top of the pencil. I've never done this style before, where I'm interested to see how it'll go. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Because I'm doing it right on top of the pencil, the erasing's going to get weird. So I actually do have to be careful. I'm not perfectly taping. I might actually start virtually taping. Oh, it's the first time I stuttered on live. All right. Oh, I forgot because I think this is so bad. I've made a bunch of mistakes and I was doing something experimental. And so now I think it's like, oh, all right. We all know how much like Zelda this like Link this looks like. I'm gonna I'm gonna give it a cut. I'm gonna say medium success. The mistakes just compounded and now I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this. Yeah, I don't think it looks terrible, but also I hate it. So I do think it looks like Link. And that is the challenge, right? So good on me. I will do a third character and then I'm gonna call it a night. Or what time is it? Yeah, I'll do a third character. Well, let's spin for it. And if it's a good spin, that might be a little cheating, but
Well, if it's bad spin, do it really fast.
Okay. You're lucky, me. Some Charles Schultz up in here. Wait, Jim Davis. I don't know. One or the other. It's Charles Schultz because Jim Davis does Garfield. Garfield?
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah. I almost said Garfield Cleveland. Our 36th president. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
I don't know what Garfield's first name is.
Grover. Oh, Garfield. I think that is his first. Oh, Garfield. What is his first name?
Yeah, something.
It's something.
James.
Oh, okay.
This is the most common.
President's first name. Yeah. The most common president's first name is Mr. President, weirdly. The most common president's hometown is Indianapolis. No, is someplace in Indiana. The most common maybe state is Indiana.
That's weird.
Okay. So this is cartoon in the original sense. Hmm. I don't know. I'm going to do a little, make my eraser big so I can putz around a little bit. What what do you look like, Peppermint Patty? Okay, I just remembered. Is she very freckly? And that's Charlie Brown's nose. Let's do that. Lots of freckles. Let's make her a little bit squarer. Oh, Sapley's back. Tell a friend. Sapley's back, Sapley's back. I'm drawing Peppermint Patty, yeah, Charlie Brown but Peppermint Patty from Charlie Brown. I'm gonna do something unusual and go right to color. Oh, is she the love interest? I never even thought about Charlie Brown having a love interest. But I might be drawing somebody calls somebody sir. I might be drawing that person. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so it is, I am drawing Peppermint Patty. That's good. I'm gonna get some dark red over here. Yeah, like, I feel like sometimes that's how people cope. Actually, I have a friend who's probably not watching this that is like that. Um, who's just like, I think they like me. And you're like, calm down. I'm stalling because it's frozen a little bit. Yeah, something about streaming at a good fixing the stream has broken the Photoshop. Snoopy, yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, the little redheaded girl, that's right. I have heard of that. Oh my gosh, I might have to restart. It is, it is freezing and unfreezing all over the place. Okay, okay, it's back. I don't have the dang color that I was trying to get. Okay. Good night. Enjoy your noodles. Noodles are as good. Is she mad? She's mad now. I don't want to deal with this Charlie Brown. I don't know how he draws his people. Just like, eh. All right. This is this is my evil peppermint patty. I'll 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 do a real attempt at eyes. Um, all right. Let's give it a look. This is as good as it gets for me today. Peppermint patty. Peanuts. Oh man, terrible.
Yeah, she looks more like Charlie Brown than you would think.
Yeah, oh, I was drawing Charlie Brown at first, and I was like, that's too much like Charlie Brown. Yeah, what a good art style. I think he's peak. He's peak cool guy art.
Peak comic strip.
Yeah, I think I need to move the nose and the eyes up.
Are you drawing?
Oh shoot,
I don't see it on the screen.
this was my attempt that didn't. I just drew behind the scenes. Ah, this is my whole day. Uh, all right.
I think we're done. I think it's time for nachos. Well, the noodle sounds good now. Noodles sound good.
Bye. I think I'll stream again tomorrow. More cartoons.